Everyone thought Tesla was just a car company, and Elon Musk let them keep thinking that. That is the bar talk. That is the thing nobody wants to admit out loud. Because while every headline was chasing quarterly delivery numbers and price cuts on the Model 3, something else was being built in the background. Something with a price tag so large it barely makes sense when you say it out loud. $30 trillion. Not 30 billion, 30 trillion. And almost nobody outside of Wall Street's inner circle has been talking about it. Let's put that number in perspective before we go any further, because numbers this size stop meaning anything the moment they leave your mouth. $30 trillion is roughly the entire annual economic output of the United States. It is more than the combined stock market value of every automaker on the planet, multiplied several times over. If Tesla or anyone actually captured a meaningful slice of that pie, it would not just be the biggest company in history, it would be reshaping what a company even is. So the real question tonight is simple. Is this real? Or is this just Elon Musk doing what Elon Musk does best, selling a dream to keep the stock price afloat while the car business slows down? We are going to walk through the evidence piece by piece, the same way an investigator would, and let you decide. Start with the paperwork, because paperwork does not lie the way press conferences do. Tesla's own master plan, Part 3, does something quietly radical. It stops describing the company as an automaker. It describes Tesla as the builder and operator of infrastructure for a global, sustainable, electrified economy. Read that again. Not a car company, an infrastructure company. The plan itself estimates that the world will need somewhere between $10 trillion and $14 trillion in manufacturing investment over the next 20 to 30 years just to convert global energy systems away from fossil fuels. Vehicles are one slice of that. Battery storage, grid-scale renewables, heat pumps, industrial electrification, all of it sits under the same roof. That is fact number one, verified, straight from Tesla's own corporate filings. The company that sold you a sedan is telling its shareholders it wants to rebuild the electrical backbone of the planet. Now here is where it stops being about cars entirely. Tesla has spent the last several years building something called Cortex 2.0 out at Giga Texas. Picture roughly 100,000 of NVIDIA's most powerful data center chips, the same processors powering the biggest artificial intelligence labs in the world, all packed into a single facility, drawing enough electricity to power a mid-sized city, scaling toward 500 megawatts by the middle of this year. That is not a factory upgrade. That is the kind of infrastructure normally reserved for companies like Google or Microsoft. Tesla's own capital spending for this year is expected to blow past $20 billion, and a huge chunk of that is compute, not steel. On top of Cortex, Tesla is developing its own artificial intelligence chips in-house, codenamed AI5, AI6, and beyond, with a design cycle of roughly 9 months per generation. They even revived a scrapped chip program called Dojo, bringing it back from the dead in early 2026. Why would a car company need a private supercomputer arms race with the biggest tech firms on Earth? That is the golden fact hiding in plain sight. Tesla is not buying artificial intelligence hardware to build better cruise control. It is buying it to power something much bigger. That something has a name, and its name is Optimus. Elon Musk has said, in public, on record, that he believes robots could eventually generate $30 trillion a year in revenue for Tesla, and that the company's internal target is to sell roughly 1 million humanoid robots by 2035. Let that number sink in for a second. 1 million robots. Not cars, robots. Musk has gone as far as saying Optimus alone could eventually make Tesla worth more than the rest of the auto industry combined, or roughly half of the entire S&P 500 stock index by itself. That is not a rounding error in ambition. That is a complete reimagining of what the company is for. But here is where the investigation has to slow down, because chasing the headline number without checking the receipts is exactly how people get burned on this stock, in either direction. As of the middle of this year, Optimus is still in its third hardware generation, still undergoing internal testing, with production only scheduled to begin converting part of the Fremont factory line starting in late July. Musk himself has publicly warned that early output will be, in his words, quite slow. Independent trackers following the program closely confirm there is no large-scale proven factory productivity yet. The robots currently being tested inside Tesla's own plants are handling narrow, structured tasks, moving parts, doing basic inspection, simple repetitive motion. They are not replacing human assembly lines. Not yet. yet. Anyone telling you Optimus is already running Tesla's factories is selling you fiction dressed up as fact. So why build the robot at all if it is not ready? This is the layer most people miss, and it is the real strategic insight buried inside this whole story. Optimus was never designed first and foremost to be sold to consumers. It was designed to automate Tesla's own factories using the exact same artificial intelligence stack that already powers Tesla's self-driving cars. Think about what that actually means from an engineering standpoint. The neural networks that let a Tesla vehicle recognize a stop sign, judge distance, and navigate a crowded street corner are built on the same underlying architecture being adapted to let a robot recognize a bolt, judge distance, and navigate a factory floor. Tesla is not building two separate products, it is building one brain and installing it into two different bodies, one with wheels, one with legs. That is the platform strategy, and it is the reason Wall Street has slowly started changing how it talks about this company. Nobody represents that shift better than Adam Jonas, the lead auto analyst at Morgan Stanley, one of the most respected voices on this exact subject. Jonas has repeatedly, publicly called Tesla one of the leading enablers of humanoid robotics in the Western world. His research team's Robot Almanac projects the global robotics hardware economy growing from roughly $91 billion today to $540 billion by 2030, then $2.7 trillion by 2035, and eventually $25 trillion by 2050, with more than half of that tied directly to humanoid robots and self-driving robotaxis. Jonas has said on record that Tesla's current stock valuation assigns essentially zero value to Optimus. Zero, meaning if the robot program succeeds even partially, the market has not priced any of it in yet. That is not Elon Musk hyping his own company on a podcast. That is a Wall Street institution with billions of dollars of client money riding on being right, saying the same thing in slightly more conservative language. Now let's translate these numbers into something that actually makes sense at ground level, because trillions of dollars do not mean anything until you shrink them down to human scale. $25 trillion, the projected size of the global robot economy by 2050, is roughly equal to buying every single publicly traded company currently listed on the New York Stock Exchange, combined with trillions left over. $10 trillion, the low-end estimate for rebuilding the world's energy infrastructure, is enough money to build over 300 gigafactories the size of the one in Texas. 100,000 processors running inside Cortex 2.0 is roughly the same number of individual computer chips as every laptop sold in a mid-sized American state in a single year, all working together simultaneously on one problem. When you put it that way, the scale stops sounding like marketing and starts sounding like an actual industrial project. One most people simply have not noticed yet because it did not arrive with a flashy car reveal event. And this is exactly where the skepticism has to kick in, because a good investigation does not let a compelling story go unchallenged. Tesla is not walking into an empty room here. Boston Dynamics has spent decades perfecting legged robots with mature hardware already deployed in real industrial settings today, something Optimus cannot currently claim. Figure A1, backed by names like OpenAI, Nvidia, and Microsoft, is laser-focused entirely on humanoid robots, with real-world pilot programs already running in warehouses. Amazon Robotics has been quietly automating warehouses for over a decade, with proven return on investment numbers that Tesla has not yet had to publish for Optimus. Add in Unitree's more affordable legged robots and industrial automation giants like ABB and Siemens, who have decades of installed equipment inside factories around the world, and you start to see the real picture. Tesla is not entering this race with no competition. It is entering a crowded field, late in some respects, early in others, betting that owning the entire vertical stack, the cars, the energy, the chips, the robots, and the software connecting all of it, will eventually beat companies that only specialize in one piece of the puzzle. There are real obstacles standing between Tesla and that $30 trillion headline, and pretending otherwise would be dishonest. Humanoid robotics is one of the hardest unsolved problems in engineering, full stop. Balance, fine motor manipulation, and situational awareness in unpredictable environments are things even the most advanced robotics labs in the world have struggled with for years. Tesla's own history with, quote, production hell during the early Model 3 ramp-up suggests scaling a brand new robot to 1 million units a year will not be a smooth, straight line. Tesla's self-driving software still relies purely on cameras without LiDAR sensors that most competitors consider a safety backstop, meaning any major error in the vision-based artificial intelligence management system carries outsized risk, both for cars on the road and for robots working near humans on a factory floor. And building out facilities like Cortex 2.0 requires billions of dollars in transformers, specialized electrical equipment, and raw computing power that has already caused supply bottlenecks industry-wide. Tesla has reportedly been stockpiling transformers specifically because it is worried about running out. So here is the honest, uncomfortable question worth sitting with for a moment. If every major analyst covering this stock agrees the robot and artificial intelligence opportunity is real, and Tesla's own valuation currently prices in almost none of it, why does the broader public still think of this company as just a car brand competing with Ford and Toyota? Is it because the story is too big and too strange to fit into a normal news cycle? Or is it because deep down everyone remembers Elon Musk has made big promises before that did not arrive on schedule, and healthy skepticism has simply become the default setting whenever his name is attached to a number this large? That tension between documented investment and unproven execution is exactly where this story lives right now, and it is worth leaving a comment with your honest take because reasonable people are genuinely split on this one. Pull the threads together and here is what the evidence actually supports, without the hype and without the cynicism canceling each other out. Tesla's own corporate documents confirm a strategy that extends far beyond vehicles into energy infrastructure, artificial intelligence compute, and robotics. Billions of dollars in verified capital spending confirm the company is not just talking about this shift, it is physically building the facilities for it right now in Texas. Respected independent analysts, not just Elon Musk, are describing Tesla using the language of robotics and artificial intelligence companies, not automakers. And the markets Tesla is chasing, robotics, energy, autonomous transportation, and computing infrastructure, genuinely do add up to tens of trillions of dollars in total global size based on independent research, not just internal Tesla slides. But the honest, responsible conclusion is this. The evidence shows Tesla is already assembling every piece needed to compete simultaneously in some of the largest markets on the planet. Whether it will actually dominate those markets is still impossible to say with any certainty, and anyone who tells you otherwise in either direction is guessing. What we can say with confidence is that this company has already stopped being just a car manufacturer. It is attempting to build one integrated platform spanning artificial intelligence, robotics, energy, and industrial automation that could completely redefine what this company becomes over the next decade. Whether that bet pays off at anything close to $30 trillion is a question only time and execution will answer. So next time somebody in the group chat calls Tesla just a car company, you now know exactly which receipts to pull up. And if you want to stay ahead of what is actually coming down the pipeline in this industry, long before it hits the mainstream headlines, join us here at Driven to Distraction so you are never caught off guard by what shows up in your own garage next.